Hey, welcome back to Melinda's Messy Sink. Tonight, we are starting off 2021 canning season. My shirt says it all. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. My neighbor at our old house made this shirt for me, and I usually wear this just whenever I'm canning. So thank you, Nikki, so much for this shirt. I still am using it like there's no tomorrow. So what are we gonna can tonight? We are going to start with dill pickle. Okay, we got a mess of cucumbers out of our garden for these came out within the last 3 or 4 days. We put them in the refrigerator until we were ready to can. So tonight's that night. And you'll see that there's all different sizes. We don't use the large cucumbers that like you buy in the grocery store to can with. We use pickling cucumbers, and then we cut them while they're still small so that they're nice and tender. So my husband is going to be helping me tonight. The first step is that we are going to cut all of our cucumbers have already been washed, and we are going to cut up the pickles first. And the slices is going to go in this big bowl. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to cut off both ends of the cucumber. You're gonna leave the peel on, and then you're gonna cut these in slices. The thickness that you cut your slice is really up to you. If you get it too thin, they become a little mushy, but that's fine. Just you gotta know what to expect after they water bath and those kinds of things. And then for now, you're just gonna drop your slices in your bowl. And then we're gonna keep going until we get all of these sliced. Whenever you are canning pickles, you have to do what's called a water bath. And what that is you take a large pot, I'm not sure if you can tell how big this is, that's got a really heavy bottom. And we're gonna fill this pot with water and get it to start boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and get this going to get the water heated up. You don't want it to be a rolling boil. You want it to be a gentle simmer, and we'll show you as that gets closer. As you can see, we're working on our cucumber slices. We are now going to also do some spears. We're gonna make some cucumbers cut into spears, and then these will be pickle spears once we get the juice in them. What I do is I cut the cucumber in half, and then I cut it in fourths. And then you have your nice spear. We're gonna go ahead and make the dill pickle juice, get that going. What you're gonna do, all the stores like Target, Walmart, Rural King, Kroger's, they have a canning section and they sell this pack. The pack may look a little different, but it's Mrs. Wager's, and it's kosher dill pickles. They'll have bread and butter pickles, they'll have hot pickle mix, they'll have several different kinds of mix. But for today, we're gonna use the kosher dill pickles. The instructions on the back tell you exactly what you're gonna do step by step. We are going to use a non-aluminum pan, or sometimes they'll call it a non-reactive pan. And we are going to add in our mix. And warning, whether you're making dill pickles or whether you're making bread and butter, your pit house is going to smell like pickles. Here's our vinegar. 3 1/3 cup, and our second batch of water, which makes 7 1/3 cup of water that is now in our mix. I'm sorry there's a glare on the camera, it's from the pan. Let me tip this and see if you guys can see. It's kind of a yellowy color. And then I just have this big handle. I just stir up to get the vinegar, the water, and the juice combined. Okay guys, I have it on this back burner. Unfortunately, this this front burner is small, and I've got it turned up on medium-high heat for this to come up to a boil. This is our dill pickle sauce, or dill pickle juice. While our juice is coming up to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and start stuffing our jars. These are brand new jars. We went ahead and sterilized these jars even though they were brand new. You can look on the back of your jar package, and we'll talk about sterilizing jars, or you can look up online. There's several different ways to do that, and people are very passionate about how they sterilize their jars. So what we're going to do next is we are going to pack our jars with either the cucumber slices or the spears. Want to talk to you a little bit about this. This is really important. You have to pack these full. There's more fits in here than what you think. But there's a fine line between being too full and there not being enough juice that can get down and pickle the cucumbers to turn them into pickles. So you're gonna see as we do this that we may end up putting more in there. If you leave lots of space in your pickle jar, what happens is that your pickles float up to the top and you have like however much space down here at the bottom that's just full of pickle juice. And it will cause you to need more pickle mix to make more pickle juice. So we're gonna show you how we do ours. There are numerous ways to do this, so you need to experiment and figure out what works best for you. For the purpose of this video, we showed you how to do this with a mix just because it's easy to show. If you get all of the steps down pat, then you're started off on a good footing. Many people have pickling recipes that they use, so there may be recipes that have been passed down from generation to generation, and you're more than welcome to use those to make your pickling liquid instead of that juice. All right, my husband is going to do some chips and I'm going to do some spears. All right, there is the top of my jar. It is packed tight in there. It looks like it's packed tight, but if you can move these around, which I know it's probably hard to see, now I've created that space in there. Oops. And so I'm gonna find a small small cucumber, and I'm gonna stuff them in that space. And it's kind of like playing a big puzzle. All right, and then this one, we're gonna set to the side and keep on going. My husband's is packed all the way full. Our jars are packed, my husband's finishing up. We use this stuff called Extra Crunch. We put these on top of all of the pickles before we pour in the liquid. And this is what it looks like in there. All right, I'm hoping that you guys can see that is boiling. We have a bowl of really hot water. We've taken the ring off of the lid and have the lid in the hot water. And we are going to fill this jar up to this top ring here, if you can see it. And we're going to leave what's called head space, this much head space in the jar. I have a towel down because sometimes it gets a little messy. And then we have a process. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. My husband is going to pick that up. He connected the ring, the lid that was in the hot water, and connected it back to the ring, and now he's going to tighten down the jar. He's wiping off the top of the the jar. All right, these 8 jars right here have They've been packed with cucumbers. They have the extra crunchy little salt topping that we put in there, as well as the pickling juice. The lids have been tightened down, and we're going to move these to the water bath now, and we can so that we can show you how that works. These are going to be submerged in that simmering water for 10 minutes. And now the tray goes in. And those, we'll set the timer for 10 minutes, and we're going to let those, quote unquote, take a hot bath. All right, these things have finished their 10-minute water bath, and now we're gonna show you, we use this tool to get them out of the water bath, and then my husband is going to gently tap the towel on top of the jar. And then we have them resting on a beach towel. What's gonna happen is these are just gonna sit right here on this towel tonight, and we will check them in the morning. Good morning, guys. All right, we're checking, our pickles have sat overnight, and what we need to do this morning is we need to make sure that all of them sealed. So what you do is you push down on the lids, and if everything is tight, then you know they sealed up as they cooled off last night. Okay, I think this one made a little bit of a popping noise, but yeah. All right, so that one did not seal. So if I do that with these others, there's no noise. All right, so this one you would either need to reprocess, or what we're going to do is we're going to put this in our refrigerator, and we will just eat this jar first, so that we don't have to go through and reprocess the pickles. These, the longer they sit, the better that they are. So we don't start giving these away, or we won't start eating this one that we put in the refrigerator at least for a couple of weeks. They say somewhere between 10 and 14 days, but the only other thing that we have left to do is what I personally do is I write on the jar lids what it is and what year, sorry. So I just take a Sharpie and I write dill or bread and butter, and then I usually put whatever the year is. So then that way, as they go into our storage area, we know, typically we use everything from the previous year, but there has been times that things have been left over. All right, guys, we have made it all the way through canning pickles. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the all notification buttons. As we continue to can items out of our garden, I'm going to film those, and if you enjoyed this canning pickles video, you're gonna love the others as well. So just wanted to thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. I'll see you in the next video.